Sick influencers and misinfluencers, the DWP and national press premeditated smear campaign against working disabled people continues. In this video, we're going to be looking at some recent national coverage from national press against myself and other disabled working people, and how the national press, along with comments from the Department of Work and Pensions, have yet again laced the truth with pure bigotry. And we're going to be looking at software that I created many years ago, which has helped me win my cases against the Department of Work and Pensions and quite a few others. It's called JusticeWriter Pro and it's available to absolutely everyone: solicitors, litigants and persons, and Mackenzie friends. I mean, how appropriate is it for a DWP policy maker, whatever they are, to pass comment about a disabled person who they don't know, and they don't know the full nature of anything that had been doing at the Department of Work and Pensions? How appropriate is it for a DWP employee to talk to the Sun reporter? I just wonder. It is interesting to note that taxpayers' money is being used, nevertheless, to pay DWP employees to talk to reporters. I mean, I have said it once and I'll say it again. When I was going through the court case with the Department of Work and Pensions on the final judgment, I did email all of the national news outlets and asked them if they wanted to come. Not one of them responded. It's interesting, on the day the Department of Work and Pensions get judgment from the courts, which is that they need to pay me costs, and no, I don't have to pay them £186,000, that they manage, apparently they have like the Sun newspaper on speed dial. And I say speed dial because the article came out the same day. So interesting that, isn't it? Anyway, let's get to it. It's going to be exciting. So make sure you're subscribed, you've hit the notification bell, and don't forget to check out all the details below in the description box, which tells you where you can find me, where you can find my resources, and most importantly, where you can reach out to some amazing solicitors. Let's go. So last Friday, which was the same day that the court ruled that the Department of Work and Pensions had to pay me costs, and that no, they weren't going to make me pay the £186,000 that DWP's legal team had asked the court to order me to pay after I won my case against them failing to make reasonable adjustments in the workplace for a disabled person, and because of the unlawful harassment that I had been subjected to for about 2.5 years whilst I was working there. Ironically, DWP seemed to think that the taxpayer should actually pay their legal team to watch my TikToks and my other social media, including my YouTube, which I think is an awful waste of the taxpayers' money. Just one of the comments I had about the ridiculous bill from their legal team. If you want a full breakdown of that, by the way, just leave a comment down below and I will be so pleased to oblige. In the name of transparency, let's continue. So last Friday, as I said on that day, I get a Facebook messenger from somebody, a reporter called Ben at the Sun newspaper. Unfortunately, I didn't pick this up till 1 o'clock in the morning because I'd been in a hospital with my mother, who had been admitted because she had serious heart issues. Now I'm going to show you the full message in a moment, and then we're going to compare it with what this reporter then went and printed in the newspaper. And I think we're going to see that the truth versus the lies just do not align. So let's get into it. And before we go any further, I'm doing this because I am so sick to death of disabled people being maimed as being scroungers, thick, not capable, not intelligent, and are basically here to milk the system. Which, by the way, is a tagline that was used to describe me, award-winning author, 9-brand founder, and CEO of my own company. I don't actually claim any benefits. but there are plenty of people that do, and lots of them claim them very much for the right reasons. So let's have a little look at Ben's message, shall we? So here's a message. Now, first of all, I do get quite a lot of messages from journalists, and quite often they're not journalists at all. So I kind of thought, well, I don't know about this, but it did seem to be written pretty, coherently. So I thought, yeah, I think this is probably a real journalist. Dear Miss Mcrobbie, I'm getting in touch on behalf of the Sun on Sunday to ask for your response to points that will feature in an article this weekend about the so-called sick influencers selling information and coaching on social media that could be used to obtain benefits fraudulently. The key points are: following your dismissal from the Department for Work and Pensions for gross misconduct in 2023, which is an appeal I might add, you want a documented harassment claim and compensation payment, and have since created a guide including template answers that can be used by claimants to obtain personal independent payments. I'm just going to point out here that this is just what he's stating. I fully refute this, and I'm going to show you all of the information afterwards. But also, not only did I win unlawful harassment, I actually won DWP's failure to make reasonable adjustments in the workplace. But the lack in detail and facts we're going to continue seeing in Ben's work. So let's get back to it. We reviewed a copy of the Prove It guide alongside a formal PIP assessor who gave us the following comment. The Prove It product he's talking about is actually a course, and it's a course to help people to become disability evidencing coaches. Okay, it doesn't actually say for people on benefits, come and buy this and scam the system. Anyway, let's continue. This guide could be used by someone to fraudulently claim PIP by exaggerating symptoms in order to score maximum points. It appears to coach people to emphasise anxiety-related difficulties, clearly aimed at achieving 12 points for enhanced mobility. PIP to get access to the Motability scheme. It doesn't anywhere actually say that. Overall, it is heavily skewed towards PIP descriptors that are difficult to prove or disprove medically. Oh, that is an interesting point that the journalist has come up with. I wonder if he got that from a PIP assessor. If it has, you might want to quote that in your PIP forms if you're doing them. They are easier for people to exploit and make exaggerated or dishonest claims. The guide actively advises people not to discuss their best days at all. That is deeply concerning because PIP decisions require a balanced picture of a claimant's functional ability over time. I know you're all going to come in the comments about this when you're talking about a balanced view, because we're going to be looking at a moment some of the very unbalanced comments. I might even point out lies, according to the claimants, that PIP assessors have been making. So we will come back to this. It's going to be quite an entertaining video. I hope you've all got a good cup of tea going. Among other things, the guide provides word-for-word answers to give to assessors if they become suspicious, and details how to describe symptoms for invisible conditions including ADHD, fibromyalgia, anxiety and depression, and these answers could be used by anybody to falsely present symptoms they do not have. In a video on TikTok, you state being honest doesn't actually work in PIP assessments. While the guide you provide, I think that's meant to be, encourages people to describe the worst or average day, not your best, without mentioning the 50% rule used by assessors. Do you wish to make any comments? Obviously, I did reply because there's an incredibly serious allegation that has been made, and now it's been printed in a national newspaper. It's even more serious. So I'm going to be showing you what I actually replied, which this reporter has not printed at all in the newspaper. And again, this is just another example of how disabled people and their rights are being completely disregarded. I mean, the comments from the Department of Work and Pensions as well. I mean, I just do not know what to think about their comments, but we will be going into it. So here we go. Let's have a little look at my reply. Thank you for your email. I strongly reject any suggestion that my work promotes or supports benefit fraud. I mean, that would be the most stupid thing to accuse me of after I have taken legal action against the Department of Work and Pensions for creating what I consider to be completely fraudulent paperwork to fire me with. I mean, quite frankly. But anyway, my materials are designed to help individuals accurately evidence genuine health conditions where this is legally required. This includes, but is not limited to, employment tribunals, workplace adjustments, access to work applications, and tribunal proceedings, as well as benefit-related processes. The purpose of this work is to support individuals in clearly communicating the functional impact of their condition, not to obtain benefits improperly. So we can see here that my resources are used by a vast array of people from all sorts of backgrounds, because believe it or not, DWP and Ben at the Sun newspaper and any other newspaper that thinks they're going to continue printing tripe like this and get away with it, there is a vast majority of disabled people that actually work, have businesses, and are quite happy doing that. But the point I'm making here is that I have clearly put out here all of those different elements. At no point do I advise or encourage anyone to exaggerate or fabricate symptoms. My materials consistently emphasise accuracy, consistency, and the importance of supporting evidence. Your summary omits a significant part of my work. In addition to evidence and guidelines, I provide education and resources to help individuals remain in or return to work where possible. This includes guidance around workplace adjustments, because I went through that, access to work support, because I have been through that, and building sustainable self-employment, reducing reliance on benefits over time, because when I was fired, I was on universal credit for a brief moment and then built my income completely up online. So who else is best placed to show you how to do that, because I've done it. It's also important to recognise that many individuals with legitimate and often severe conditions face difficulty being believed or accurately assessed. I regularly hear from individuals who have been told they appear too intelligent or otherwise do not fit expected assumptions about disability, despite significant functional limitations, which would have been documented and evidenced to those PIP assessors. I would also highlight that any suggestion my work is designed to facilitate fraudulent claims would be a misrepresentation of its purpose and content. I trust that any reporting will accurately reflect the context and intent of the materials and avoid presenting educational support as encouragement of wrongdoing. Clearly signed by me. Oh, and let's just have a look at some of the additional screenshots I put in to him, which actually relate to his comments when I said being honest doesn't always pay when you're making PIP applications. And that actual TikTok video, which I'm going to tag down below, actually includes these screenshots here. So here's the first screenshot. My assessor lied, said I used a walking stick when I don't even own one. I have a spinal injury, COPD arthritis in my hands and feet. Some days I can't walk or use my hands. I was refused PIP as apparently I sounded too intelligent. How can I be properly assessed over the phone? The system is screwed. That went to that reporter. Did he feature it? No, he didn't, did he? Let's have a little look at the next one. My PIP assessor stated that she saw me shuffling papers. My daughter had all the paperwork, not me, and that she saw I had well-defined calves. I was wearing very loose trousers, so she must have had special optic powers. That is somebody that works for the Department of Work and Pensions. Let's have a look at another one that was also sent to Ben, as you can see, because it's in the message tab. The next one, my son has Addison's disease, and when he went for an assessment, the woman asked if he had been abroad because he had a healthy tan. When someone with Addison's is feeling ill or stressed, they have hyperpigmentation, which makes them look rand. I think that's meant to be tanned. And when I told her it's because he was feeling unwell, she just smirked and shook her head. These are just some of the reasons why I created Prove It, which is my course, and why I created all the way through, as going through my case with the Department of Work and Pensions, JusticeWriter Pro, which we are going to be looking at later on in this video, because quite frankly, I think it is utterly disgusting when civil servants who are paid by the taxpayer are given proper documentation from ill and disabled claimants, or ill and disabled people, period, not even claimants, from doctors, from occupational health therapists, from mental health assessors, and those disabled people are being laughed at and being told that, you know, they don't have a condition because they're too intelligent, or maybe they're making it up, or maybe they're just milking the system, as what's being referred to me. Now, to make what was reported in the national press, which seems to be a pattern that the national press seem to want to do against the disabled people, I also continued my message with this. After I'd obviously sent those three little screenshots, as you can see there, I have hundreds of comments like these from genuine disabled people. Shocking, isn't it? And there was me thinking that maybe this reporter was going to actually show some truth in the situation about how disabled people are being deliberately targeted by the national press, particularly the ones that he's featured in his article, which we're also going to look at in a minute, because they all work, including me. For information, I don't claim benefits. I'm CEO of my own training and tech company. Before I worked for DWP, I spent years in education and teaching whilst building up businesses and studying, well, various degrees. My work has delivered a structured educational content similar to CPD style training. My company is actually a CPD registered trainer. And alongside this, I've been training as a solicitor, which is going to be interesting when we go to looking at my tools I've created. You can, and I go on, and then I've got here, you can hear more of how I work with disabled entrepreneurs here, because as we all know, thanks to lots of you who voted for me, I won a couple of awards last year for helping disabled and neurodivergent entrepreneurs grow their income online, be more successful in their business, and I also helped some people that didn't even have a business start one and be incredibly successful. Now, nowhere but nowhere does it say in any of my information or of any of my products that I create that they are specifically for people on benefits. Nowhere but nowhere does it say that. So now we've seen the actual message that I sent to the Sun newspaper. Let's have a little look at what he reported. And then, if this ever happens to you or something similar, I'm going to show you how you can start taking potentially action against complete wrongdoers. So here we are in the Sun, and like all awful reporters, they not only they just copy. I don't think do reporters actually write anything anymore? Because it seems like they have some kind of tool or digital tech AI that just takes someone's article, rewords it, and then they just print the same crap basically. So here's a picture of me up there. Obviously it's got another this person works, by the way. This is another disabled person. She works. This person works, right? I work. I have my own company. I work. I pay quite a lot of tax, so I work quite well. Has helped people claim thousands of pounds in disability benefits. To date, I have not helped anybody claim thousands of pounds in disability benefits. I've helped people claim thousands of pounds on access to work funding so they can stay in work. Yeah, I've definitely done that. But claiming benefits, no. Right, so let's go on. Got a picture outside the job centre. The former DWP coach charges £197 for an online course to advise people on how to access benefits for conditions including anxiety and depression. Alison, 53, who goes by, I don't know why my age is relevant, but anyway, who goes by the name the Justice Journals, was left disabled by a car crash. When she was sacked by DWP for gross misconduct, she won a claim against them for harassment. Right, let's get the sequence of events correct. I took legal action against them and then they fired me. It wasn't the other way round. And I'm quite sure Ben will see that if he looks at the case papers, because they're pretty clear on dates. Her course gives template answers to use when filling out forms. No, it doesn't do that. For an extra $9.99 a month, claimants can access a tool that will write their statements for them. No, it doesn't do that either. In one TikTok video, Alison admits that being honest doesn't actually work in PIP assessments. That was referring specifically to the people of the comments we've just seen who said they had the various different disabilities that they had, and they were told just a pack of lies apparently by these assessors. One thing he does get quite correct is PIP doesn't care what condition you have. What PIP cares about is how your condition affects your ability to do everyday activities. That's probably about the only factual part. There is the video there from TikTok, which I am going to link underneath. And here again, Alison uses TikTok to advise followers on the best way to explain their circumstances to DWP. In actual fact, the Justice Journals is also a lot about self-representation as a litigation person, all the different things I'm doing as I'm qualifying to become a solicitor, the different resources that I've created to help self-represent myself in an employment tribunal, and how I've built my income up online so I can help other disabled people do the same. And as we can see, that's all there mentioned in the message to Ben. On top of that, if you were to put my name into Google, which I would assume even the most basic of reporters, and I'm considering this person to be pretty basic because he's stripped away any facts, or maybe that's just a normal rhetoric for that newspaper. I don't know, I didn't read it. But if we put my name into Google, because if I was going to write an article on someone, because I did used to work as a resident blogger for J.K. Rowling's organisation, Gingerbread, at the time when she chaired it in London, first thing I would do is put their name into Google and see what comes up. And this is what comes up. Alison Mcrobbie, business coach, 365 plan founder. Then we click on there and we're going to see all of my books. And obviously the last 3 days ago, we've got this nonsense. We've got all of my books. We've got my LinkedIn profile. We've got the cases I've won. We've got all of my award-winning reviews of my books, the times I've featured and on that UK Health Radio, different places I've been interviewed, and of course relevant petitions that I have started about, in one particular case, disability related dismissals. Right. Nowhere there does it say anything about helping people on benefits. Now, I know a lot of people on benefits are drawn to my content and are drawn to my resources, but not all of them. And even if they are people on benefits, why is that a problem? Why is it a problem to help people get off of benefits? Why is that a problem? I mean, really, that is what the Department of Work and Pensions should be doing, but of course they're not doing it very well, are they? Now, I have noticed that Ben and the person commenting are both males, and the women or the people that they featured, all the females, all the disabled people they featured in their newspaper are all females. I don't have a problem with that, obviously, but I wonder if they do. I wonder if they have a problem with disabled women actually being stronger in some cases than their disability, stronger than, what they could be in other ways because of their disability. I mean, I don't want to be defined by my disability, and I'm quite sure quite a lot of people don't want to either. It's just an interesting point that I have observed in the article. And then he mentions my TikTok profile. I've actually got 3, and one is just my full name, because why would I hide it? Alison Mcrobbie, and it's all about business coaching and content creation, because I work with a lot of very big creators. And then of course we've got the website. So let's have a little look at the website and let's see if anywhere on the website does it say, come and buy this product from me and commit benefit fraud, because that is what the Sun have printed about my products. So let's just go and have a little look on my website, and obviously this is now being recorded so we can clearly see that it's time stamped. So here we go, we've got the insiders login there if you're a member of the membership, and we've got OFFSYSTEM, which we'll go to in a moment. So these are all the different places that I've been featured. And no, the Sun, I know you probably need views, but I'm definitely not going to put you on my website, one of my websites, because I do own quite a few, being a CEO of my own company. So here we go. Our products are expertly created for people at the crossroads, employment and health issues, wealth after ill health, dispute resolution, get me out of here and off of the system. And we've got insiders, which is the membership, which is, a mix of different things, but predominantly it's to help people get off benefits if they are on them, or people who have got ill health. And then we've got all of the toolkits and the different things. We've got the Prove It course, which we're going to go and have a little look at in a moment. And then we've got loads of the reviews, which are flying in now because people love it. And then we've got the products here, the Health Journal, which, is an continual Amazon #1 bestseller, but you will always get it cheaper on my website. And then we've got obviously JusticeWriter Pro, which I can't wait to show you guys in a moment. So there we go. There's nothing on there, is there, that says come and buy these products and commit fraud. I mean, I could say it like this: you may have committed a criminal offence, and you might have a very good solicitor or barrister that get you off. Does that mean then that solicitors and barristers are committing fraud by helping a criminal get off? I mean, lots of criminals do get off because they have very good representation. I'm just wondering, it's a bit of a loose cannon comment to make, particularly on somebody that has not done anything like that and is liable to take legal action against people that make those types of comments. So let's go back to here. If we go to okay, now if we go back obviously down the page here and we go to shop here, lots of you will know OFFSYSTEM, which is the little it's my YouTube shop. We had to do another website for this because YouTube only accepts certain things. And on here obviously you can get the health bundle, you've got the Prove It course, you've got the bestsellers data review kit. I'm the data controller for my company, so I thought why not, that's useful information to share with you guys. We've got the Health Journal, we've got anti-fear banking surveillance toolkit about AI and banking, we've got the Prove It course, we've got the membership, and then of course we've got lots of merch and stuff like that. Loads and loads and loads of wonderful reviews from you lovely lot. Just thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate every purchase because it helps me invest that money into things to help you. And we're going to show you in a moment again, as I know it's a long video, but what we can do, or what you can do if you need to or want to, with JusticeWriter Pro. So there we go. Off system is all about, obviously, coming off of the system, not being reliant on the system in any way whatsoever. Now let's have a little look at the Prove It course. If you click on there, course, take the guesswork out of evidencing your disability. Track it, prove it, claim it. Claiming your rights back. Quite simple. Evidence your disability, employment-related activities is one of the things I had to do endlessly. Tribunals with one proven evidence system, know how to report it, when to use it, built around official frameworks, you know, even judicial frameworks, the ones I've had to use. Letters, templates and evidence frameworks. There's lots of evidence letters, things that I've used. Access to JusticeWriter Pro, Prove It, all the rest of it. Nowhere but nowhere does it say, come and buy this course and commit benefit fraud, does it, Ben? Doesn't say that anywhere, but you have printed in your newspaper that in actual fact, that's what it does. So now we've seen that clearly that reporter has not printed anything factual or even correct, and has again just made up his own narrative, very much like some of these PIP assessors that you're telling me. And now we're going to look at JusticeWriter Pro, because I think, considering you know, I don't know, guys, let me know what you think. Do you think I should sue the Sun newspaper now as well? I'm interested to know. I mean, you know, I do think it's worthy of my time, because it's a very serious accusation to make. And as for the mouthpiece that he got from DWP, ironically, as I said, on the same day that the judgment was ruled, I mean, I didn't work for PIP. So to say that I've used in some kind of insider information is completely, again, that is a very serious allegation that has been written. I'm very clever, I'm not going to lie. I read a lot of books, I do love to learn, and I'm very analytical. I do have a degree in applied linguistics, and I just love breaking down things and working out how they work. I mean, after all, this is what law is all about, isn't it? And that's why I'm also training to be a solicitor. So let's have a little look at JusticeWriter Pro. Now, obviously, imagine that I have screenshotted. I'm not going to do all of that, or I have done it, but I'm not going to do it all in front of you. Imagine you've got all of your evidence. You've got your screenshots of things people have said, and maybe newspapers have printed about you, maybe PIP assessors have written about you, or any other assessor, disability assessor or other, have written about you, or you're just not happy with it and you don't think it's true. The number one thing you've got to do is have evidence. Now, this is not legal advice, but I do create a lot of organisational tools, because I have to wear a lot of hats in my business as a CEO of my own tech and online educational company. And of course, comments like those that have been made against me are going to reflect on my company. So that is very important that I correct this. So once I've got all of my evidence, there we go, I'm going to come along here to JusticeWriter Pro. And like I said, this is a tool that I created whilst I was suing the Department of Work and Pensions. It's been very useful, and obviously it's helped me win. So here we go, you have your case here, you can put your information in there, diagnose conditions if you've got them, you can put your case type if you know what that is, your opposing party, or the rest of it. You can put what happened, you add an event and you put what happened, and then you can start adding in your evidence. And as you add in your evidence, this tool will then put everything together in a timeline for you. It'll link it all back to you, and it will help your life be so much easier when it comes to potentially taking legal action, because everything's going to be organised in the right place. That's called the case audit trail, by the way. Now here we've got my expert assistants. So we have my case management assistant, we have my disability assistant, and of course we have JusticeWriter Pro. this was like the first JusticeWriter Pro I did. Now it's grown JusticeWriter Pro, because the more we learn about different things and the more things we're able to do with the tech, then we see, okay, how can we use this to help as many people as we like, so as we can. And we've got all these different letters, areas here that you might want to consider writing, and it will take your evidence and your information, it will read it, it will analyze it, and then it will give you a hand in structuring your letters. Now, I want to be clear here, this is not legal advice. And I do have, there's a little tab there, I'm not going to open it right now, but there is a tab there, and there are my recommended partners, solicitors and barristers, that you can go to if you want to. And they will, they will potentially work with you. These are hand cherry picked by me. They're people that I consider to be very good, who are vigilant, that are committed to their work, that follow things through to the letter. And I will say, be very careful about Mackenzie's friends as well, because recently my company was using a Mackenzie's friend, and we actually had to fire him because he hadn't even read a court order. He was writing a witness statement when he wasn't even meant to write a witness statement, and he was even contacting defendants and things like that when he's not allowed to do that. So, there are all sorts of laws around what someone can and cannot do. So use professional, legally trained people when it comes to, getting the right advice and dealing with that element of a legal case, if that's what you're going to do. But you can use JusticeWriter Pro here to organise what's happened. And the first thing a solicitor or a barrister is going to want from you is they're going to want the evidence, they're going to want the timeline, they want to know exactly what's happened so they can do an analysis of the case, work out whether or not it's something they can deal with, work out whether or not you're going to win, you're going to lose, the weak points, the strong points. This is going to make it a lot easier. It's going to make it a lot more comprehensive. If it's more comprehensive, they're going to spend less time reading it. If they spend less time reading it, you're going to spend less money paying them. An employment law solicitor is about £650 an hour. Barristers with rights of access can be a little bit cheaper. They can be £450, they can be £5, but they cannot. They can go up to thousands and thousands of pounds an hour. And most importantly, if you're not going to take legal advice, but you are going to write to the DWP or, another organisation or another entity, and you're going to write letters of complaint, again, you need to have all your evidence. If you're going to do a disability tribunal or a PIP tribunal, or you want to take action against one of these organisations, then you do need to have all of your evidence correct, in the right place. The court system is going to really appreciate it. If you are in an employment law situation or going through the employment law courts, I can tell you, one of the biggest strategies of your opponent, it's one of the things the Department of Work and Pensions used to do to me, their legal team, was they will bombard you within 48 hours before a court hearing or something to try and make you wobble, or they will just give you so much reading to do, it will make your head spin. Again, knowing legal timelines, frameworks, things like that, and having your information correct and in the right place is going to help you. So organisation is really important, and preparation is always a key to success for everything. I firmly believe this. So there we go. Right, JusticeWriter Pro is available over on the website. You can always find everything on thejusticejournals.com. It is accessible to everyone. Okay, whether you're representing yourself, whether you're not taking legal action, but you're writing a letter of complaint and you want all of these things organised. If you're a solicitor, a trainee solicitor, because solicitor software that, could be similar to this would cost hundreds of pounds a month, right? Hundreds of pounds. If you are a Mackenzie's friend, make sure, by the way, if you're going to use a Mackenzie's friend, make sure that they are registered on the Mackenzie's friend website. Don't just take someone because they're going through like law school. And I'm not dissing that, but one of my son's girlfriends has done a degree in law, and she said she has no way that she could have done what I have done with DWP and other things I have to deal with in my company. So please don't think just because someone's done a law degree that they're going to know everything, or, you know, they're going to know something, obviously. But when it comes to legal advice, take legal advice from a proper, qualified legal professional that is licensed as well, has a current license, okay? But you can use these tools like JusticeWriter Pro and everything else to help be flipping organised, because honestly, some of you guys, you're not organised. I know this because sometimes I've done consultations and there's like people were there on like Skype, and people are running around, running into the bedroom. I've got some paperwork here. I think I've got a letter over there. It's not going to work like that, guys. Anyway, once you've got all of your paperwork together, once you've used JusticeWriter Pro, and you're thinking, particularly me, I'm not really liking this, what the son's done. I'm going to get all of my evidence together. I'm going to send it to my lawyer who deals with defamation and libel. They're going to look through everything, and then they're going to tell me what I need to do next and what's going to happen next to any organisation or entity, media outlet that wants to print things about me that's just not true. Because, you know, not only is it just defamatory, but it could have very serious impact on my business, and I take my business very, very seriously for somebody that has built it up from nothing. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about all of this. Do you think our system is letting certain organisations and news outlets get away with, I was going to say murder, but get away with defamation and libelous comments because it suits the political narrative of those organisations? I don't know. What do you think? I just find it a little bit, you know, why the Department of Work and Pensions wants to comment in the Sun newspaper. I mean, that's a new one on me, but I would have thought it'd have been the Daily Fail. But, you know, we are where we are. Let me know what you think about it, guys. I am super interested. I'm still in thought process over this whole thing. I haven't quite given it my full attention, but I can tell you when I do, it's going to be D-Day for some. Anyway, have a wonderful day, and I look forward to all of your comments because I love reading them, and I'm catching up with them from last week when I was in hospital with my mum. And also, thank you so much, everybody, for those of you that have left lovely comments for my mum. She's much better, thank you. She's still very frail, but she is better, so thank you so much. I've passed on your comments. I do read them out to when I go around there, and she just like has a little chuckle to herself. So thanks very much, guys. Take care. Goodbye.